Okay, hello and welcome everybody back to the stream. I'm your SimCA5 and I really appreciate all you guys stopping by. Today we're going to be in the glorious CRJ900 and by Aerosoft, as you guys probably know by now. This stream is going to be more geared towards people learning the airplane, so I'm going to be a little slower, take my time in what I'm doing, and then people can maybe hopefully keep track or keep up with the video if they're going to fly along, or they can pause and rewind and do all that kind of stuff. So we're going to try to go through as much as possible. Not complete video tutorial style because I don't want to bore you guys either, but just a bit slower so people can keep up with what we're doing. So we'll be flying from Montreal to Charlottetown. I have the free Charlottetown scenery with the MK Studios Montreal. And we will be flying on VATSIM. As you guys can see, the performance is fantastic right now with higher settings as well. That is all due to CST Flight Deck and Bobby for letting me know about CPU virtualization. I have a short on my channel about it. But basically, if you're on an Intel processor, try turning CPU virtualization technology off. And that helped me immensely with performance in this sim. I'm able to run what I should be able to run finally. So anyways, for hardware wise, we're going to be using the PU Air Korea radio panel. We're going to be using the Wing Control MCP, which is like an autopilot panel, the 737 autopilot panel, but I'm using it for the CRJ. And with Moby Flight, I'm using that with. We're going to be using the ProDesk Sim CRJ throttles, which I do have a discount code for in the description for ProDesk Sim, and that equips to the Honeycomb Bravo. And then we're using the Moza AY210 yoke, their force feedback yoke, and the Wing Control Orion brand new Airbus rudder pedals. That's going to be the hardware for today. And yeah, we'll be doing an Airbus stream shortly here because I do have that new overhead panel I want to show you guys, but I thought you guys would like the CRJ stream, so we'll do a few of those for the time being. Mr. Dominic says hi, welcome, thanks for stopping by. Be sure, guys, to like, subscribe, comment in the chat as well. I'll be able to read all your comments, so be sure to do that as well. So thank you to all the channel members for being a member of the channel and supporting the channel with your own hard-earned money. And then thank you to the channel partners, which will be in the top right corner. Right now, there's the FS Expo banner at the top right corner. We'll see you guys at FS Expo. I should be able to get the time off, so we will be there for probably the Saturday, Sunday. The Friday is a maybe, but Saturday, Sunday should work. Vibe, hello. Do you edit your replays or your PC on your PC or phone? I do. My replays? What do you mean by replays? But I edit my videos on my PC with CapCut. I have the paid version of CapCut. Nighthawk, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Happy Family Day to you as well. Mateo, welcome. Or Maddie, sorry. Nice catching you live. Happy Family Day. Happy Family Day to you as well, good sir. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you. And yeah, we're going to skip the walk around, but this airplane is in a cold and dark kind of state. It's been sitting here overnight, we'll call it, whatever you want to say. So potentially there'd probably be a little bit of frost buildup. You'd probably have to go get sprayed, but we're not going to do that today. But the de-ice facility in Montreal is just should be just over there. That's the de-ice facility right here. Doesn't look like they have the little screens modeled, but yeah. Let's go ahead and connect to VATSIM, and then we're going to go ahead and start our flight here. So we're going to be Jazz 214. I'll go and get VATSIM going here. I'm not going to be in a rush today, guys. As I said, I'm just chilling, having a good time with you guys, and hopefully you will enjoy and join us and fly with us. Let me go make sure my flight plans, I think I pre-filed it already. But we'll do it again just to make sure. Really appreciate all you guys coming out and saying hi. Do you use OBS to record your replays? I use OBS to record videos and stream, and then I use CapCut to edit that. Yeah. Aviation Bros, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. You're going to be Jazz 691. Sweet. Cool. I'm going to get the flight plan up and running for you guys on the stream as well for today. So hopefully you'll be able to take a look at that with us. Let me just go ahead and get that going here. You should be able to see it now on your screen. And we're just going to edit that a little bit so you only get the good bits. There you go. Oh, that wasn't even the one I wanted to do. Stand by. There you go. And we'll go through the flight plan real quickly as well. I'll just put it in the center here so you guys can see. But we're Montreal, Chicago, Montreal, Charlotte, or Jazz 214, as you guys can see there. And it says that stuff here. This is the date, the type of engine and aircraft we're on today. And our crew is listed there with our employee numbers. Obviously, those are all fake. You have the FIN number and the call sign. Don't know why it's an American call sign, but whatever. We're planned at 35,000 feet. By the way, guys, this is the JZA format, the Jazz format of OFP layout. On SimBrief, you can change your format to Jazz, JZA, or any other airline you want. They have Air Canada, and they have United and Delta and all those airlines as well. The route, this is our routing here, Sussex, Novan, East Ram, Arabic 95 or 951 Airway, and then direct Charlotte. It's going to be the Montreal 5 departure. If it never lists it here, it's 99%. You have to check your clearance, but 99% of the time it's going to be the name of the airport followed by number departure, like LaGuardia 7, Montreal 5, whatever. And 95 Alnav, IPAX, direct Ikararu, and then direct airport. That's it there. Alternates Halifax. There's no takeoff alternate today. And these are all the waypoints listed here. And looking like here, we have, these are our turbulence numbers. So got ones, fives are where, 4 or 5s when it starts to get a bit bumpy. You can see it starting to get bumpy near the, just before the descent portion. So, but on the way in, it should be nice and light. So maybe a couple bumps here and there, but a relatively smooth flight. And we'll be cruising today at 250. Nope, that's not, well, that's kind of weird how it's planned. But anyways, yeah, 250.74, somewhere around there. It seems a bit wrong, but we'll probably go a little bit faster. They've loaded us fuel-wise with 9,100, basically 9,200 pounds. So we're actually making sure that we're loaded with this or more. And we're expecting a zero fuel weight of 67 grand, which puts a takeoff weight estimated of 75.8. Max takeoff is 84.5, so we're like 10,000 almost pounds under that. An hour and 7 en route. And this scheduled departure time, at least pushing back, but in Zulu. Coming down here, we got nothing on the MEL, so nothing's broken. And it should say landing cat 3 here, but it doesn't, but it should say landing cat 3. And yeah, so this is some takeoff data. You don't have to use this data, but it'll probably be what we're going to be using today anyways. So you can see they planned it for runway 6 right. 1 degree is the planned outside air temperature, the planned wind, planned QNH. The planned, the maximum runway takeoff weight, 84.5, so we're not going to be near that. Flap 8, our VT speed, this is our flex temperature, and then our V speeds here, our planned takeoff weight, and our max takeoff for that runway. But that's airframe limited. That's about it. So that's the OFP. We're going to be plugging this data into the FMS here shortly. So I'm going to be pulling all the data from here. When we get to that, when we get to the climb, winds, and all that stuff, and the ice deviation, that's going to be this page here is what I'm going to be referring to. So I'll put that away for now, but maybe I'll minimize it and I'll bring it back later. I'll put it there and I'll bring it back later when we're on the road there. So Madison, welcome. I forgot to put gear down and crashed into the runway my last flight. But I'm surprised I never got any warnings. How does that work IRL? And it's modeled in the sim. There's got to be some alarm. Yeah, you should definitely get the alarm. You should hear a high-pitched, I can't really do the noise, but at below 500 feet with your gear up, 500 AGL, you will get the gear warning horn. So maybe you did have the gear down, but maybe they weren't. No, if they weren't fully locked, you should still get the sound actually. So sometimes the Boris audio, if you don't have the most up-to-date Boris audio pack, that will make the gear horn go away. So make sure you have the most up-to-date Boris and the most up-to-date CRJ. It's 2.1.1 should be the update, 2.1.1 on the CRJ, and make sure your Boris is up-to-date too, because that'll do that. AJ, welcome. I really need to relearn this plane. Well, hopefully you can stay along here, AJ, and maybe put this video on later if you want, or follow along today. We're going to be going step by step on starting it up, getting ready, and everything. In Charlottetown, it's most likely going to be an RNAV approach too, which I know a lot of people struggle with, so we'll be doing an RNAV approach as well, most likely in there. Thanks for dropping by, AJ. Afghan, where FO you get this info from? What program? This is SimBrief. We're using SimBrief, and that was the OFP, the operational flight plans. So there's won't be a tutorial on SimBrief, but you can go on YouTube and look up tutorials on SimBrief, and they should tell you. It should show you how to do it there. Simblitz, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you. Guys, go check out Mr. Simblitz's channel as well. Great channel. A lot of great reviews as well on his channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Mike, hello. Greetings from Lucky's flying service. Well, welcome, Lucky. Universe, hello. Mike, I'm doing IH to LaGuardia United 319. Yeah, if you get the LaGuardia, hopefully it's around X31. That approach is really cool. Well, without further ado, guys, we gained 2 subscriptions. I really appreciate you guys on the subscriptions and the likes. You guys are killing that recently. We hit 16,000 subs, which is insane. We might even reach 17 by the Expo. Hope to see you guys at the Expo as well. So, yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. We're going to skip the walk around. We'll say that's been completed. But this is a completely cold and dark airplane here. We would do a safety check to start off with. You'd check the breakers when you walk in, make sure the flashlight's where it's supposed to be and it's charging and all that. And you do all your safety checklist. Safety checklist, most companies are a read and do checklist, which means you just take the checklist in your hand. There's no flow. You just read it and do as it says. So we'll get it somewhat up and running in a safety check completed situation. But you're basically just make sure the spoilers are retracted, the throttles are cut off, flaps are in 0, and or they match the position and what they're in. The gear is down, the steering switch is off. ADG is retracted. The ADG is like the RAT, the ram air turbine. They call it the ADG, automatic drive generator. And the RAT does pop out that little cubby over there. So we do have a RAT on the CRJ, which is kind of unusual. Not a lot of airplanes this side have a RAT, so it's quite nice that we have that. And then the landing gear manual deploy is stowed as well. So with that, we're going to go ahead and, let's make sure that we go over here to the aircraft button. Make sure the chocks are in, which are right, where are the chocks? Right there, they're in place. We're going to connect the ground power, and we're just going to leave like that for the time being. Go to the overhead panel here. We're going to select our battery master on. Going to get all the dings and the warnings. You can kind of just clear all those for now. I'm going to press the electric button, and I'm going to press it one more time down here to get to the DC system. All right. We get it. It's very realistic in that way, but we get it. We need a minimum of 22 volts, which we got, so that is okay. You can see the charger lights are on, which means that the battery is being drained currently. There's nothing charging it. So what we're going to do is we'll go to the overhead panel and select our ground power on. Oh, there we go. I had the wiper selected on over there. Turn those off. Now with the ground power on, you can see the charger lights have gone away. There's no emergency bus as well. You don't want emergency bus displayed. And all of our transformer, rectifier, and essential TRUs are all powered up. We'll press electric one more time to get to the AC system page. And the external power is running and is holding the power for bus 1 and for bus 2. Bus 1 is running the essential bus. Bus 2 is running the service bus. So you do not need to click DC service. Do not click that. Just leave it alone. All right, we're going to come down here and put our nav lights on as well. And then for walk around, it's a good idea to put your hydraulic 3A pump on as well, just so if any hydraulic fluid, you can use the pumps, and maybe by using the pumps, you can exacerbate if there is a leak and you can see it. So it's a good idea. It's a part of most checklists to leave that pump running for the walk around there. But anyways, we're going to skip all the walk around stuff for today. Get back to your comments here. Too kind, no, Simblitz, you deserve it, man. Everyone go check out Simblitz's channel. Appreciate you guys stopping by, and I appreciate Simblitz stopping by here as well. Hi, been going pretty good. I just got back from a trip today. Funny story, I was supposed to do 6 flights. A Newark turn, then Philadelphia, stay overnight. Then the next day, Philadelphia back to base, and then a Newark turn. Well, they put the Newark turn on an Embraer, so I just went to Philadelphia. And then the next day, we woke up in the morning, and they put the next Newark turn on an Embraer. So all I did was Philadelphia, the base to Philly, back home, and we got paid for 6 flights and only did 2 flights. So that went pretty good. What did I click? There we go. Weather radar off. Anyways, we're going to continue on here. So we're just kind of in a powered up state. We have the battery on, the ground power's on, nav lights are on, and everything else is basically turned off at this point. So we're going to start at the bottom here. We'll go to the IR switches. We'll select those to nav. Going to move up either to the right or to the left FMS, either one you like, and it says initialize position. Before we do that, we're going to click the index button here. FMS control. Let me lower the volume for you guys just to make sure it's not too loud. We're just going to make sure that our FMSs are synced. You don't want them set to independent because anything I do in this box doesn't talk to that box. So you want them synced. And index, position, next page, we'll grab the GNSS coordinate, previous page, and we can throw it in there. Now I have it set to instant align, so it's going to instantly do it. The flight director should not be on. But if you didn't have it set to instant align, you'd have to wait the 7 minutes. In real life, there's a way to find the IRS time align. In the sim, you can get to the page, but it actually doesn't show anything. So don't concern yourself with finding the time. Just wait about 8 minutes, and then it should work. We'll leave these both on the flight plan page for the time being. We're going to go down here and check our oxygen. So the proper way to do this is you test your mic. I'm not going to do it because it doesn't work, but you put it in your phone, mask, and then you can give the mask a tap, and you should be able to hear the mask over the speaker, and that means the mic is working. And then you can do the oxygen test, and there's a different way to do that as well. You can't simulate the proper way in the sim, but you can press the button. So we'll say that's been done. You take one more look at the breakers. And in the sim, nothing will ever get popped. They're not modeled, so they're all good. And then overhead panel-wise, we got the battery master on. The ground power is still on. APU gen should be technically off at this point because the APU hasn't been running, so we'll leave it in the off position. Fire detection test, we can select that, and it doesn't work quite well in the sim, or at least it's hard to see. But once I press this button, a lot of things are going to happen. You're going to get the fire system test okay. You're going to get master warning. You're going to get the red left engine fire push, the green light for the squib, both the APU and the right engine fire pushes, the green lights for the squib, and the cargo in the squib while I press this button. So do it. Good. It goes away quick, and there's a fire system test okay in there as well. Not a bad idea as well, by the way, guys, to once you get in this airplane in real life, when you power up on ground power, to check these messages. Obviously in the sim, it's always going to work, but once you put the ground power on, it's a good idea to go through these. And there's a second page. We'll click the CAS button, and you can see on the CAS button, there's nothing that's alarming there. What we're looking for is something like APU fire fail or something like that that would stop the flight. Those are all associated with what the condition of the airplane is, but, you know, left engine fire fail, like something like that. So you'd be looking for any warnings or cautions that would inhibit you from taking off or continuing from that point on. Anyways, fire system test is okay. Our hydraulic SOVs are both pushed in. These are our shut-off valves, so those are all pushed in. So hydraulics work from the engines right now. Lights are good where they are, and these external lights are good where they are as well. Our fuel pump-wise, everything is deselected and off. Our wing anti-ice cross bleed is set to normal. We only really use this for engine out situations. There's not a whole lot other times you would. Our bleed valves are in auto, and inside this box, we're just going to leave this our isolation valve closed and our bleed source to both engine. You don't have to touch this. You don't touch that at all because our bleed valves are in auto. If they're in manual, then you got to touch that, but we're leaving them in auto. APU is off. Ignitions are all off. Hydraulics, we're going to do a hydraulic test. So let's go to the hydraulic page. You can see everything is zero pressure except our inboard brakes, as I did pressurize that 3A pump at the beginning of the stream, so it's holding the pressure. It does do that in real life as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to turn all the switches as far up as they can go towards the overhead panel. So up, this one doesn't go anymore. Up and up. All the backup, the B pumps have been selected on. You can see 3000 PSI, and the quantity and the temperature are all in the green. And then everything forward. Backup pumps should be turned off. And you get the master cautions. They shouldn't depressurize that quickly, but backup pumps are all off. And the 3A pump now is on. And everything is looking good. So, hydraulic-wise, engine-driven pump. electric, engine driven pump. That's how that kind of works. So we only have the switches up here are all the electric pumps. And the only thing we can do with the engine driven pumps is completely shut them off. We can't turn them on or off. They're always on unless we completely shut them off with that shut off valve there. So we'll put the hydraulic 3A pump back to the off position. Everything else can stay in auto. There we go. And we're looking good. ELT is armed. Passenger oxygen is guarded and closed there. And on top here on our pressurization panel, we're just going to leave everything as is. Our man rate is in the full decrease position, and everything is deselected up there, so we're good. Our packs are off. Recirc fan can select it on at this point. And for later, we could just set the temperatures to be about there. Nothing will be affected by temperature because our packs are off, but we'll just preset it for later. Our aft cargo air is off right now as well. Our wing anti-ice, we can throw the probes on and press the test. ADS heat test okay. We get the 2 cowl warnings there. Windshield heat should be low for both left and right. Probes are off. Your lights here, I'll put a little bit of overhead panel light on. You don't really need too much, but go throw it on. At this point in the game down here, our passenger signs, our no smoke can go to on, our seatbelts can stay off, and our emergency lights can go to the armed position as well. Coming over here, right to left, everything is guarded, deselected. Our autopilot disconnect is in the up position. Everything else here is deselected and guarded as well. We're going to do a stall test. So for the stall test, we're going to need the hydraulic 3A pump on. We're going to need to also set a trim of 6 degrees. So let's go ahead and turn our stab trim on. Might as well get our mock trim while we're down there as well. 6 degrees of trim. And once I click the stall button, you're going to see continuous ignition pop up, which is a feature of the CRJ. If it's near approaching stall, the continuous ignition will turn on in hopes to keep the engines from compressor stall, or just keep them ignited in those stall conditions. And then we're going to click this, let go, ignition's been on. And there's the test complete. Awesome. We can turn the hydraulic 3A pump back off. We don't need to use that pressure. Every ding should actually have a caution associated with that, but it doesn't seem to light up. But anyways, we'll press the EGPWS test. You're going to get the messages and the sounds, but the sounds are broken if you use the Boris Audio Works. So the terrain, all that stuff, wind shear, that's all broken with the sound pack. So we'll say it works. Coming down here below the yoke, we'll do the CVR test. Should get the green light in 5 seconds. There you go. There's the green light. Thank you guys so much for joining, by the way. Let me get back to these comments real quick. Cameron says, managed to break my auto FPS somehow. Love and life. I don't know how you did that, my friend, but sorry about that. Kitty Hell, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. Nighthawk says, I missed all those CRJ sounds. Haven't flown one in a while. The Boris Audio Pack is amazing. I would get the CRJ, but it does not have auto throttle. Nope, it does. You have to be a pilot. You got to control it. Mr. Owls, hello. Welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. We got some pretty big names in the chat so far. We had Simblitz stop by, and now we have Owls. You guys should know who Owls FS is by this point, but if you don't, be sure to go check out his channel as well. I think he just reached, like... Aren't you at 55 or... Some crazy number of subs. So go check out Owls. He's awesome. When does the DC service button get used? Never. Only in abnormal situations you would use that DC service. If there's been if the normal service is not being provided with power, and a checklist has guided you to put that switch on. Other than that, there's no other need to use it. When do you use windshield heat to high? It's very rare. There is a temperature. I think it's minus. I have to look it up, but it's in the 27 or 37 area. It's very cold where you actually start using it high. But I'll have to look that one up for you. I'll get it in cruise. If you ask it again, I'll get my iPad, I'll get the AOM out, and I'll get it, because that's actually a good question. Dad Aviation, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you. All right, let's continue on. So we've done CVR test. Now we're just going to check our ICAS 1s and 2s. Again, we're just looking for warnings that shouldn't be displayed. In the sim, it's going to work, so we'll say those are fine. Stab instruments panel-wise, everything is uncaged and looking okay. We'll set the altimeter later. That's not really the point of the test right now. We're just kind of doing a general scan. Anti-skid we can turn off. You can see the inboard and outboard, and it's been self-tested there. We can go back to armed. Landing gear is obviously down. We'll do the main landing gear overheat test. All right, you got the warning there. You got the master warning there. do the overheat fail. MLG overheat fail has been tested, so that's just testing that it can detect a failure in its sensor system. So that's been completed there. Everything else here is fine the way it is. Pitch and roll disconnects are pushed all the way in. Our spoiler is all the way up. Reversers can get armed now. I see a lot of people push with the reversers off. We have the reversers armed from this point. They only get turned off after takeoff, and then they get put back on when the gear comes down. So leave them armed for now. That's all good. Coming down here on the radio panel wise, we're not going to set anything just yet, but we'll tune in our Montreal CTAF. We're using the PU Air Korea Universal Radio Panel, by the way, guys. It's only about $90 for a radio panel that works with all your favorite airplanes. So I'm going to be changing frequencies, and I should have it on camera for you shortly, but we'll be changing frequencies with the PU Air Korea radio panel. Really cool little panel. Coming down here, weather radar is all the way off. Our transponder is in standby. You can put the standby radio on if you want, but I'm not going to use it. Our stab and mock trims have already been selected on. Our fans, avionic fans, are in normal. At the top here, oh, let's do that. Everything else here is okay. You'd have to do a full trim check. We're not going to do that, but you would check those full left, full right for both aileron and rudder. Yaw dampener 1 and 2 can be selected on. You can see our not EFIS control panels. Our source select panel is all in norm. COM 3 can be set to number 3, just so if we have a jump seater who's not talking on an important frequency. And you would do a PA test at this point as well, which is not simulated, so I'm not going to do it. Everything for the cargo fire is deselected, and we've already checked that this is already the way we want it as well. So we're all good to go there. Sorry, just responding to a phone call real quick. With that all being done, though, we can continue on to the FMS setup. So we can go down over here. Mr. Skymaster, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. We're getting a lot of YouTubers in here. So Skymaster, thank you so much for joining in. Guys, go check out Skymaster's channel. Recently reached, I believe, 2,000 subscribers, if I'm not mistaken. So go check out Skymaster's channel. No auto throttle is my biggest problem in the CRJ. I haven't flown it in a while, to be honest. You get really used to it. You just got to fly it a bit. Minus 27, I thought that'd be too cold for the CRJ to fly. Nah, but the CRJ is a Canadian airplane, my friend. This thing can fly. I mean, when you're at cruise, right, you're up at 35,000. It's minus 50s anyways. But no, this thing works well. It's a workhorse of the jet world, I like to think. Do you have an issue with the stab trim buttons? I often have to spam them a few times for buttons to push down. No. As long as the message disappears from your ICAS and your ICAS 1 and 2, then no, they've been turned on. I haven't flown it too much since the FSX days, but it's a lovely classic. It's a nice balance of manual and auto flying. It is. There's a lot of, especially in the 900, a lot of things that you wouldn't think automatic are automatic, and then everything else is like manual. Like it has automatic APUs. The APU will switch bleed source for you. It'll switch the electrics for you as well. But then no auto throttle, no auto brake. But then it automatically will arm spoilers for you. This switch in the auto position is automatically armed the spoilers. You don't have to like arm these. When you land, it's just armed already. So there's a lot of weird things that are automatic and a lot of weird things that are manual. But anyways, let's go to the EFB real quick. We're going to press flight plan, and then we're going to press import OFP. And we can either choose to send all of this to the FMS, which we're probably going to do because I don't want to type all that out. Or you can press set payload and fuel. In real life, we don't have this option. Obviously, we can't send FMS data in the CRJ. So if you were going to type it out, the way it would work is you type in your, where you are, where you're going, what's your alternate, what's your flight number, and then with that all entered in, you do your route first. So you don't put the SID or the star, just put the routes, which is starting from, in this condition, or this point, it's starting from Sussex, or Suxet, and you type all this in. And then once that's finally all put in, then you put your SIDs and stars. And in real life, if you do it that way, it'll limit all the discontinuities. If you put the SIDs and stars first, it gets a little messy. But for today's flight, we're just going to press send to FMS and set payload and fuel. While we're on the topic of the EFB, we'll click performance. It will be a flap A takeoff. It will be dry. They have the V speeds all set for you. You can manually set them with this knob here. V1, press the select button to change to VR, and you can scroll the knob, or you could just press set all and it does it for you. One rotate V2 202, and V2 plus 10 is set on the speed selector. That does it all for you. We got 91 on the fuel, a zero fuel weight of 66.6. We were planning, I think a little different, but that's okay. We're planning for 67, so we're a little under. That's okay. We just, one person didn't make their connection or something is usually what happens with that. And a trim of 6.4. We can go ahead and set 6.4 now, just so we don't forget. Cool. Let's go down here. So if you've selected the send to FMS option, you still have to press execute. Or not. Let's go ahead and delete that, actually. Let's put Montreal over Montreal. Execute. Delete. Now let's go back and try it again. Send. Execute. There we go. So don't type that stuff in if you're going to send it. Just send it and it does it all. So that's all been entered in, but we got to do our departure runway and SID. So departure arrival, Montreal 5, and it's going to be the runway 6 right is what we're planning. I don't think there's any ATC on today. There's not, so we'll just choose whatever you want. And that's been entered in. Departure arrival. We're not going to put the approach in just yet, as it's more than 30 minutes away, this flight. So we like to put our approach in once we're in the air. We plan for that about 30 minutes prior to descent, or 30 minutes prior to arrival. We will get the weather and get the approach. So we're going to leave that blank for the time being. What I am going to add, though, which is a little trick. Let's see if it works. I'm going to add the airport, because technically the clearance is to the airport after, direct YYG after. But I want to see if this works. I'm going to put YYG / minus 10, which is minus 10 miles. Put it over itself. We're going to check if that worked. We're also going to do 4,000 feet. All right, so that gives us a bit of a, because with this, there's no star and there's no approach. So we have no top of descent really to calculate based off of. So this gives you something to aim for, if that makes sense. But, you know, when we get the approach in, we don't really need that anymore. But for right now, you can do that. You can also do a fix. You can also do CYYG, right? Put 100 miles out, fix, and that you should start descending roughly about 100 miles away. You can put that in there. I can leave it in there as well. But whatever you like to do, so... That's it. So that's been completed. Flight plan page, and that's pretty much it for that page there. That's pretty good. Yep, so we'll press performance. And we'll put our flex temperature in here. To get the flex, either the OFP or you can go to performance, takeoff and landing, and it'll be a flex of 41. Put that in there. Perf in it. We got 91.75 on the fuel. In real life, we don't really set the fuel this way, but it's too complicated to talk about now, so we'll just set what it is and call it a day. We're up to 35,000 feet, so F350. Put that in there. Let me bring up the flight plan so you guys can see here. The alternate is 16,000 feet. Put that in there. The zero fuel is 66.6. Let's see. Let's not go based off memory here. 66641. 41. Put that in there. Next page. ISO deviation is -4, so you just put -4. And then we have our winds right here. Plus 34, 29, 27. So plus, you type it as you see it. Plus 34, plus 29, plus 27. So tailwinds the whole way, which is nice. Not much of a tailwind, but a tailwind nonetheless. Next page. Let's see here. Let's put this to... GPS on the time, ET. It's 21:30, probably pushing back in the next 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes. So we'll probably take off at 21:45, we'll call it. Oh, 21:40 actually. Estimated time of departure, 21:40. Our reserve fuel is 1610. Put that up there. Taxi fuel, they call for 500, but the runway's behind us. 400 is the default, so we'll use that. VNAV setup, next page. They're calling for 250.74. I'm going to do 265/78. 0.78. My mistake there. Awesome. Next page, 4-degree descent is what we want. That's all good. Radio page, everything is set to auto. We're squawking 2 grand. Next page, Jazz 214, perfect. MFD menu. We're going to be flying from the right-hand side, so right-hand side right there. We'll select to VNAV. I'll deselect airports. I don't care about those. Left side, Deselect airports. The captain in this case is going to get on. So pilot flying gets VNAV and pilot monitoring gets on. This is the VNAV, what it looks like with the green, and then with on, the different thing. Basically, the noticeable thing is you'll get ETA, which doesn't work in the sim properly, and you get estimated fuel on landing as well. Awesome. With all that done, flight plan button, copy active. Flight plan button, copy active. And we're going to set up our MFD here, or our PFD. A couple things we got to set. We got to take a look at the departure. We'll take a look at together. Let me bring up the Navigraph charts here. I'll read your comments while I wait and bring those up. Missing a lot of comments here. Sorry about that, guys. I'm listening to the stream on headphones while cleaning. Oh, that's always good, Kitty. I do that too, actually. I do that quite a bit. It's a good way to get your house all clean and still have a good time, in my opinion. Simple says I should know better. Built to fly frozen. You Canadians don't mess about. No, we don't. The Q's are even more workhorse than this thing. That thing's incredible. What that thing can do. I was thinking about picking up a basic cheap stick and throttle so I can actually control the CRJ without any tiny thumb sticks on Xbox controller. Yeah, that'd be. I'd highly recommend doing that. The problem is, bad cheap sticks are still expensive. Like the Thrustmaster. The Thrustmaster like Airbus stick and throttle are way overpriced. So if you're gonna buy that, find it like on cheap on Marketplace for like $100. That's fine. But if you're gonna buy that full price, just buy Wingwing. It's much better. But definitely get some sort of controls going on for sure. I love the CRJ. Just wish we could get one more update to fix aileron sensitivity. What's wrong with your aileron sensitivity? The flight model was built to be quite like it is real world, so if it's a bit sluggish, that's how it is. Not sluggish, but it's a bit more delayed than you might think. Hey, Spike, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Simba says, just send it. Lucky says, I have flying the E-Jet. Quirky is how... Sorry. Quirky is how I would describe it. Glad I forgot to press record. Yeah, it's all good, Lucky. Joe, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Nighthawk says, never understood what flex temp was for. So the easiest way to understand it is these jet engines, this airplane is capable, and most airliners are capable of taking off without using maximum thrust, mass performance from that engine. So instead of when you add power, adding power to like a less of a setting, like a reduced throttle setting, what we're doing is we're tricking the airplane engines into thinking it's much, much hotter outside. And when it's much hotter outside, in its brain, it can't put out the same amount of thrust when it's very hot, when it's very cold. So when it's cold, it can put out more thrust because colder air is thicker. It can put more thrust out when it's cold. When it's hot, it can't put out as much thrust. So we're saying in its brain, hey, buddy, it's 41 degrees outside, which is not true. But we're saying, hey, it's 41 degrees outside, and its computer brain, it goes and calculates. It goes through basically like a flow chart and says 41 degrees, pressure altitude's this, my power should be X. So we've derated the engines. We're tricking the engines into thinking it's hotter outside, and therefore it thinks it can't put out max thrust, and it derates the thrust for us. Instead of moving our throttle to like a derated position, we still put our throttles in the toga detent, but it's going to give us less thrust, if that kind of makes sense. I'd watch a video on it, but that's kind of how flexing works. We're not using full thrust for takeoff because it's a lot of engine wear and a lot more fuel use that you don't need. So hopefully that helps out. Cameron says, Ariel, do you have any say on when you begin your descent, or is it completely up to ATC? It's depending on what airspace you're in, but it is up to ATC 99% of the time. You can request lower, and they can give you lower, but you'll have to ask for it. I'm going to go make up some bagel bites. Don't do anything funny until you get back. Yeah, go ahead, Cameron. Enjoy. I'm listening while I load MS-24 to fly the 737. I haven't flown that iFly in a long time. We probably should do that on stream soon, too. Aiden, welcome. What's up, CFI? How are you, my guy? Happy Monday, and I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well, my friend. I hope you are staying well. I'm going to take a drink of water, and we're going to keep talking at light speed paces. All right, let's get this show more on the road. So let's get our PFD all set up. My Navigraph is loaded. I'm going to go ahead and import the flight plan and get that all going. And we shall, not that one. Navigraph. It's weird that Navigraph isn't popping up as an option to show you. Okay, well, Navigraph isn't working, but the chart's going to say 5,000 feet, a heading of 057, and then it's a vector to SID, so we'll give ourselves our own vector. So what we're going to do is we're going to set our heading indicator to 057, which is runway heading. We are going to set our altitude pre-select to 5,000 feet, which is the altitude on the star. Now, in real life, we set 4,900 until we get clearance from ATC, and once we get our IFR clearance, we go ahead and select that one more 100 feet. Bit of a reminder to ourselves that we haven't been cleared yet is what we do. That's just a thing we do. I don't know if everybody does it. We can set up our altimeter either with the knob here, or you can press the magic Bravo button, the B button, and that'll set it for us. 3006. We can set our level off height as well, our acceleration altitude. With that, we do with our MDA knob. So we'll select this over to MDA, and we set 1,000 feet. Normal is 1,000 feet above airport elevation, so we'll call it 1120 at Montreal. And 1120 is the altitude that we're going to pitch the nose down, accelerate to this VT speed, and start retracting our flaps. We don't go climb thrust, not like the Airbus. We don't go climb thrust to level off height. We keep toga thrust, select a faster speed, bring the flaps up, then go climb thrust in the CRJ. After the flaps are up, then we go climb thrust, unlike the Airbus. So that's all been set, and we're good to go here. The only thing we have to do is select our flight director to the right-hand side, our air data computer to use the first officer rated air data computer, ADC2. So we've selected that to the right-hand side, and we are all good. Let's go to the overhead panel. We'll start with the APU. APU power fuel. You get the in-bite test. LCV and SOV should not be open at this point. That's fine. APU doors open and the gauges have appeared. Bit test completed. We'll press the start button and I'll give you guys the sounds outside. No worries, Nighthawk. Hope it helped. Do you set the landing altitude to your departure airport in case of immediate return? I've seen a few videos of people doing that. The Aerosoft shows. No, we do not do that. In real life, we set our landing altitude for the airport we're going to. However, if we have to return, our abnormal checklist will dictate to do so. Actually, just our normal approach checklist will dictate to set it actually as well. So we don't plan / brief / set stuff up for abnormal situation. We brief what we're going to fly, except for the engine out. We do brief that, and that's hopefully not going to happen, the engine out procedure, but we brief that. Everything else is we set in our brains as we're going, and then if something were to happen, we'll run through some checklists and come back around and set it all up and for a full approach back. Now, if it's a fire, there's no time. You just come back and land. But everything else, everything in aviation, you have time. Everything you have in aviation, you have time for. Engine failure, hydraulic failure, whatever it is, you have time except for fires. There's a few cases where other things you don't, but fire you don't have time for. You have a little bit of time, but not a lot of time. I have been told by a lot of instructors on this airplane that these engines can burn for 45 minutes on fire without falling off. Like they'll just sit there and burn. So they're very strong. But yeah, so we just set our landing elevation to the airport we're going to, and that's using the before start section. So APU is running up, and we'll check the electric page. You can see the APU power is good, but the generator is offline, so we can go ahead and select the generator auto. And the generator has been turned on to green. It's been taken over the load from the ground power cart, so we'll go up here and turn the ground power switch off, and we can go ahead and deselect the ground power. Might as well go close all these doors. And we can go ahead and get rid of the chocks as well. We'll check our DC system page by clicking electric one more time. This is the DC, direct current. It's all good. Moving back up to the overhead panel, our APU is on. Hydraulic 3A pump can be selected on. This is where we'd set our elevation. The elevation in not St. John. The elevation in Charlotte, I believe it's pretty high, like 900 feet, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's actually sea level. What am I talking about? So 150 feet. We're starting here at 0, so probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 200, a little too much. 1, 2. 160. Perfect. Awesome. What did I just click? There, turn that off. That's been set. Both left and right pack can come on. You can hear the rush of airflow coming in. Awesome. That's all good. Now let's go ahead and get GSX all hooked up and ready to go. We're going to do the rest of our before starts in a second. What's coming out? Let's go ahead and set up our frequency. I believe it's 19.9 in the Montreal CTAF. $19.9 has been switched over. I did it with that. I did that with my PU Air Korea radio panel there. This looks like our tug right here. Crash and Leo, hello, welcome, thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. Currently controlling Luton. Oh, okay, come control Montreal. That'd be, and then come control all our centers en route. That'd be good. I don't know why GSX isn't doing anything, but as per usual, GSX is being useless. I don't want. Let's restart that. Alright, let's try again. No. There we go. Oh, now they spawn the massive tug. They spawn the heavy tug for us. They break the CRJ. But all we're going to do, guys, we're going to push straight back and then get everything started, and we're going to turn left on our runways right there. 6 right. We can do that. GSX is being GSX as always. Yeah, no, actually, that one was my fault. I'll take that one. That was definitely my fault. I'll give you guys a bit of a briefing. Just going to switch it over there. So we're going to be taking off runway 6 right. It'll be flap 8, flex rolling bleeds open. The anti-ice condition is not required. Min-vis is okay. We're flexing to 41. The N1 is checked as well. Noise is no turns below 3,000 feet here in Montreal, and it's going to be a Montreal 5 departure, 6 right, 057 vectors to Sussex. First waypoint on course, up to 5,000 feet, and 057 on the heading select is set. As you know, procedure upon reaching 1120, it's direct track 057. And we've been briefed on all that stuff, so we are good to go. There's no really any threats. Nothing really talked about. Might have to get the wing and cowl anti-ice on through through takeoff there with those clouds, but other than that, we are good to go. You can get the Moto Talk tractor in GSX now. That's what I would use with CRJ. The tractor is usually the tractors are for towing us. They don't really push us back often. But that's kind of cool. They allow you to do that. Alright, before we release the parking brake, we do the rest of our flow here. Let's get our doors page. Make sure our doors are all closed. And we can select our fuel pumps on as well. Beacon light can be selected on. It's getting dark. We'll throw the logo light on too. Why not? Steering switch is off. Transponder on number 2. Parking brake off. Montreal traffic just 214's pushing back straight gate 28. Thank you for subscriptions, guys. Really appreciate all you guys subscribing and press the like button as well. Be sure to hit that like button as well. Alright guys, let's go ahead and start up our engine. So for engine start, we're going to go ahead and press our, we'll do the right engine start. Technically, if it's the first flight of the day, we'll do the left. Oh, that should be on. If we're doing the first flight of the day, it'd be the left, but we'll say it's a, why not? We'll do the full thing. Left engine start. And we'll start our timer as well. And please, timer. Thank you. What we're looking for is an N1, N2 of 20%. And an ITT below 120. Once we've met those goals, we can go ahead and add our fuel in on 1. Awesome Boris sounds. That high-pitched squeal is the hydraulics you guys hear right now, by the way. Virtual United Pilot made me look at my gear. Alright, the parking brake is set.
Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention as we
So I'd say parking brake is set, and we have good engine start. You clear disengage and go to hand signals, or disconnect and go to hand signals. Alright, let's up our timer. We're going to do the fuel valve check, so we're going to turn both our fuel pumps off, and we should get 3 messages. Right low press, pump, pump. That's good. We'll put the fuel pumps back on. We'll only do that with the first flight of day. The rest of the flights that day, we don't do it. Start and right. Start our timer, and we've observed the right engine start message. Waiting for, again, an N2 of 20% with an ITT below 120. I've helped adjust the timings of all this as well, so they do start roughly around the same time as they take the start in real life. Right auto ignition's been displayed.
In case of a water landing, life vests are located under your seat. Secure the vest around you and pull on the red strap to inflate it. As we prepare for takeoff, please take the time to make sure your seat is upright, your tray table is secured, and your seatbelt is fastened.
What amazing sounds, man. What amazing sounds. We'll put that a bit lower. Camera says, what's your experience using FrameGen and Sim? I love it. I need to use FrameGen. It's really good. I don't need to, but it does look a lot nicer if I do. So I do love using FrameGen. I have it set to 2 times right now. And with a 5080, I can go up to 4 times if I needed to. He's giving us the wave. He's gone. So what we can go ahead and do is go to the electric page down here. Hit that way too many times. The engines have taken over the load. The APU's been taken off the bus there, basically, all the buses. So we can go and select the APU start-stop and the power fuel as well.
Jazz 691, taxiing to 6 right via East Apron, Montreal.
That's Dom over there. So with the APU off, aft cargo can be turned on. Don't need any anti-icing. The probes can be selected on as well. We'll do a full rudder check, and for this, I'm going to go ahead and get myself all locked in on my chair. We're going to go full left, neutral, full right, neutral. With that, the steering switch will be turned on. It's such a short taxi. I'll do the before takeoff checklist here as well. So we'll get our flaps to 8. Usually we don't do it here, but we're going to do it here to now. Our auto crossflow to manual. Flight control page. Full left, neutral, turn the camera on for you guys, full right, neutral, full down, neutral, full up, neutral. There should be a line here if I'm not mistaken in real life. There's like a little line. Anyways, that's checked. Our N1 is 83.8. We confirmed that with our ACARs. We don't have one, so we'll say that's good. And our runway departure is 06 right, Montreal 5, heading 057, vectors first waypoint, Sussex up to 5,000 feet. That's all been set up. We can stop our timer, put it back to the ET mode, our elapsed time mode. And we're all good on that. So I think we got Dom taxiing behind us. Oh, he's going to wait for us. All right, so we'll do the parking brake off, taxi light on, and we'll get rolling a little bit. Don't need too much power in the RJ. It should start to roll on its own power. Montreal traffic, Jazz 214, taxiing 6 right, east lane. Do flash the taxi lights to acknowledge the pins? No, we don't do that. We just give them a thumbs up. And a salute. Is this the updated version of the CRJ? This is the most up-to-date version we've ever had, which is 2.1.1.
And Montreal traffic, 691 is going to be continuing taxi behind company in front, Montreal.
I was about to say, you better. I'm not going to say that. Alrighty, so after starts are completed, before takeoff checklist is completed, we would have to wait till the cabin tells us we're ready to go. But we don't have that here. Nothing better than learning from the pilot that flies this aircraft every week. It's just too bad it isn't high fidelity. Fingers crossed they will try to make it. Yeah, I really hope they'd get a high fidelity CRJ. That'd be absolutely fantastic, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be amazing? It's still daytime. I'm going to kill the logo light. Don't really need it. Okay, guys, we're going to do our lineup checks coming up here shortly. I'll give the call. Montreal traffic, Jazz 214, lining up runway 6 right.
Montreal traffic, Jazz 691 to be holding short 6 right.
All right, so we're clear on the right. Clear on the left. We're got our lineup checklist. Our strobes are on. Give them the chime that we're lining on up. Our messages have all been acknowledged. We can go and click the stab button to box those up. Don't need those anymore. Alright guys, so for the takeoff procedure, I see a lot of people struggle with this, and you guys can obviously go back and pause and everything, but what we're going to do is once we're lined up, we're going to click our toga button. That's going to display our flight directors. Then we're going to select toga thrust. 80 knots checked, V1 rotate. We're going to pull on up. And then as we're climbing through our level off height, gear up, speed mode, and then we're going to go, we can either go nav or heading in this case because it is in the box, so we'll go nav mode. And then we'll go from there. But you guys can go check out my takeoff tutorial, or you can rewind this video as well. Watch our traffic, it's Jazz 214 on the roll, 6 right. Alright guys, so we'll say we're clear takeoff, landing light come on, are going to press our toga button right there. It's not working, but I'll just click it manually there. TOTO, you got takeoff configurations okay. Gonna bring these up just between the screw and the climb, and we should get about 70% N1 stabilized. And click, click. There's the toga detent there. The thrust is set. My hand should stay on here, technically. 80 is checked. Move my mic out of the way. And we have V1 rotate. Up at the air there, gear up. Speed mode, we got climb 159. Nav mode, heading FMS2 is armed, and I'm just reading this. Heading FMS2 is armed. Right, once we're through 600 feet, we can get the autopilot engaged. There's FMS2 captured. Just flying the flight director. We're through 600 feet. Autopilot is engaged by the green light there. Coming up to our level off height. All right, now we're going to spin this knob, our speed knob. I'm going to spin up to our VT speed. There's climb 200. There's climb 203, something like that. The airplane's going to start nosing down. We're keeping our thrust where it is. We're keeping thrust in toga, but the airplane's going to nose down to get more speed. V2 plus 12 will go flap 1. And we're VT minus 15, flap 0. Flap 0 is gone. Climb thrust set. And we'll get the landing light off. The crossflow can go back to auto. Reversers can get disarmed. Please. Thank you. And I'm going to keep this climb rate going until 3,000 feet. That's the noise altitude in Montreal. No turns below 3,000. So I'm going to keep it rocketing up towards 3,000. And then once we get above 3,000, I'm going to spin my speed knob to 250. So here it comes. Let's go 250 on the speed. And the nose is going to come down to accelerate to 250 knots. Alright, I'm going to give myself 7,000 feet. We'd have to talk to departure at this point, but no one's online. So 7,000 feet there. And I'm going to give myself a right-hand turn for the time being, and heading mode. Let's go direct Rabbit. We'll cut a bit of it off. And we can go ahead and see, this is the problem. Notice that it puts Rabbit direct behind. That's a bug. It shouldn't be doing that. It might work if I do it with this. Okay, we'll do it like that. Shouldn't do that, but whatever. And nav mode, FMS2 is captured. There's no one here, so I'm going to get myself up to higher. Let's go 35,000 feet. Please. There we go, 35,000. This is where the LNAV is really wonky. We're coming up on some clouds, though. We're above 230 knots, so we'll just put the cowl anti-ice on. See, it's going left, right. That's very buggy. The real one doesn't do that badly. It's actually quite good in LNAV, the real one. Turn those cameras off. There we go. So Coming up to some clouds, the TAD is below 10 and it's above -40, so we could expect icing. Above 230 knots, Bombardier claims the wing anti-ice does not need to be turned on in a climb. So we have the wing anti-ice off, we're above 230, but the cowls are on. Anti-ice on the engines are on. Nothing better than learning. Oh, I read that one already. Virtual Pilot says, I have printed all my United Virtuals FOM. I have the Airbus checklist for VA and all the Phoenix checklists, and I made them into a little book like the real thing. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's always fun when you can enjoy the airplane like that. What a beautiful climb. Those clouds look amazing. They do look pretty good, don't they? Awesome sound. What a great sound. Hi everyone, do I need to spot some trendy P days? Yeah, he did. No, we do not keep landing lights on until 10,000. In the CRJ, our taxi recognition lights are on below 10. These guys here. At least for the company I fly for. They might change. When is face reveal? Only at FX Expo. That's the only one you'll get. I'm gonna press our heading sync button. We'll sync our heading with where we're going.
And Montreal traffic, 691 through 3000. Bear runway 6 right, Montreal.
We're through 10,000. I'm gonna keep 250 so we can keep this climb rate going. If I were to accelerate, the nose would come down. We wouldn't climb as well. We'd be in the icing for longer. So I'm gonna keep 250 knots, but we'll get the rest of it. We'll get the taxi recog off. Our pressurization is nicely checked and pressurizing. The belts can stay on, and the radio's set. We can let the FAs out of their seats eventually there. I don't understand the poll questions, or should say the choices. Lucky, the first one is of course, and the second one is I can't. Basically just saying people like the stream is all. I love this aircraft, but goodness, when landing it hits and it's hands-on. It is, my friend. Yes. When you're paid to fly this airplane, you are definitely paid to fly it. Not paid to sit around push buttons like shots fired, I know. Database says, evening, quick question. Do you keep the AC in climb/speed mode the entire time? I sometimes find myself while I get to TL climb. Yep, you keep it in climb the whole time. The only time we really deviate, a few times you can deviate if you'd want to, but what I'd like to do is, now we want to accelerate, I have two choices of accelerating. I could just tune this into climb 280, which is our normal climb speed, or I can select vertical speed, 1500 feet per minute, and then let it accelerate. And the reason I do that, even in real life, is if you do climb 280 with climb 280 there, the airplane sometimes almost gets to about 200 to 500 feet a minute. And ATC still wants you to climb. So I've told it I want 1500 feet a minute, and even with that feet per minute, we're just slowly going to accelerate up. And now, because we have people behind us, I'm going to keep it quicker, and we're going to do what's known as a bit of a faster climb we do, which is a 320 knot climb. It's not as efficient, I guess, in the actual climb. Won't get you as high as quick, but it gets you further along your route. So it doesn't really make a whole big difference if you're doing short flights, really. So I'll do a vertical speed of 1200 feet per minute. We'll get that acceleration going a little bit more. CRJ definitely doesn't hold your hand. It definitely does not. Adam, thank you so much for joining, by the way, guys. Go check out Fly with Adam 01, a newer streamer that's coming up. So please go check out Mr. Fly with Adam on his channel. I believe he streams usually in the mornings, but be sure to go check out Fly with Adam's channel. The only thing by doing vertical speed, guys, is you're not speed protected. So if I don't watch this airplane will go right into the red line and overspeed. So you got to be on your game about that kind of stuff. But as you fly the RJ a lot, your eye kind of comes back to this tape every 28 seconds or so. The CRJ held my family at wait, what? The CRJ held my family gunpoint for mentioning autopilot? Autothrottle? That's supposed to be a joke, but I'm a bit delayed on it. Do you hold the type rating for any other airliner besides CRJ? No, RJ is all I got. I did all my trading in the 200, and then transition to the 900. Guys, I'm gonna put Fly with Adam's channel in the chat here, and I want to see his sub count go up by at least 1. I think we can do that. Please, please, please go and give my guy a good subscription. Wayne, thank you so much for the $2.79 donation. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Thank you to all you guys who donate, and thank you to Wayne. Go spam those $ emojis in the chat. Our new emojis were given to us by Mr. Aviation Bros. Thank you so much, Wayne. Appreciate you. We're passing through 18,000 feet. We'll press our standard button there, our standard button there, our standard button there. And that should not be blinking, but standard button there. And we're coming up on 320, so we're going to increase our vertical speed just a little bit, and then click our climb button, or a speed button, I should say. You just started descent in the DFW. Nice, nice, nice. Probably in the new scenery, right? You guys went to subscribe. Thank you so much. Hopefully Adam is still here. If not, go check him out when he goes live. He's a nice guy. We'll increase our rate of descent just, or rate of climb, I should say, just a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and click our speed button right there. Boop. 319. I'll match it up. 320. That's what we want. Climb 320. Now the airplane is going to pitch for 320. My thrust is going to stay in climb the whole way up, and the airplane is going to pitch for 320. Now what we got to watch out for is around 27-ish thousand feet. Mach 0.77 is going to come up. This red line is going to start coming down. It's going to start coming down towards us. So at about 28,000 feet, we're going to click our Mach button, and we're going to start climbing at 0.77, and we're not going to overspeed. That's what we're going to do. Do you have a specific platform in mind that you would want to move on to the next CRJ? 350 or 87 would be my, well, 7.4, but no one flies it anymore, but I'd love to fly a 7.4. No worries, Adam. Of course. Let us know, Adam, how much it went up by. Hopefully it went up by at least 1 or 2. I'm actually going to post I'm going to post your channel again, and I'll pin it. I forgot to pin it, so... That's the link to Mr. Fly with Adam's chat in the Discord there, and I pinned it for you guys to go check him out. Awesome guy. Dom's dissipation should be alright. Sweet. I'll keep the 327.7 climb going, so we'll get further away as we go here. Going FS Expo? I am planning to go. I just have to make sure my days off get approved and all that stuff, but I only know about that 1 month prior. So I'm going to know if I'm going to Expo. That rhymed. Oh, you can turn our Cal NTIs on. I've been talking too much. Cal NTIs off. I'm gonna know if I'm going to Expo around May 25th is when I'm gonna know for sure, which is kind of last minute, but that's kind of how it goes in the airline world. Simple says 164 to 172 looks look forward to seeing you live, mate. Oh wow, yeah, that's crazy. I can't even do math. That's like 8 subscribers. That's nuts, guys. Thank you guys so much for going to Fly with Adam's channel. Be sure to check him out. Put the notification bell on. He's a new up-and-coming streamer. We like to help those. What's the longest route you fly? Or you can't say route time in RJ. I won't say the route just because it'll probably give away the airline, but the longest, we don't do this one anymore, but it was a 3-hour and 55-minute flight. It was basically North America west to east. I'll say that. Not complete at east, but like west to from west coast, like West Coast Ocean to like New York area. That does not happen anymore, I don't think, or if it does, it's very rare. But the longest I've done is a 3-hour 30, and that's because we had to we went all the way to our destination, and then we were coming down. So I'll give you this story time. While I'm giving a story, you guys have to tell me when this hits 0.76 so we can not forget to hit that button. Anyway, story time. We're coming down to an airport that'll remain nameless, and it only has an ILS on one runway. And we are in the version of the CRJ where we don't have the VNAV function. Like this one doesn't have VNAV. Some RJs do. The CRJ9, if it's been equipped with VNAV, will have the VNAV, and some of our fleet does, but most of them don't. And so without that VNAV button, you can't do an RNAV LPV approach, which is basically an RNAV ILS, a GPS ILS. We can't do that without our VNAV button there. So we're limited to ILS or LNAV only minimum on an RNAV approach. And if you guys know LNAV only minimums, they're usually 400 to 500 feet above ground level. So that weather that day was 2,500 RVR, runway visual range, about half a mile visibility at 200 feet above ground. So definitely ILS weather. So the winds were so light that we both as a crew elected that we'll take a small tailwind and go in for the ILS approach. It was a 2-knot. It was a 2-knot tailwind. It's barely a tailwind. The winds in real life are, they vary so much, and just because it says 2, might be 3, might be 1, might be a different direction. It's kind of variable, so you're allowed to do that. So we picked the ILS 6 is what it was, with about a 2-knot tailwind as a variable tailwind, and our limit is 10. But we did brief that coming on down, if the tailwind were to exceed that 10-knot limit, we'll just go around. And it's just so happened the way the fuel planning was built in that flight plan for that day. If it was a go around, it was all the way back to base. We didn't have enough fuel to try again or try a closer airport. They just wanted the airplane back so then they can go somewhere else with it later on. So we're on the ILS, coming on down, do our 1,000-foot... actually, I don't think we even got that far. I think we intercepted the glide slope, and coming through 2,000 feet, we got a wind report at the surface from tower. It was basically a direct tailwind at 12, gusting 15. So over the limit, plus gusting over as well. So we just elected to call the approach over and done with right there, which meant going all the way back home. So did a go-around, did a diversion, came all the way back home. Back home, there's like another hour and a half later, the winds were 35, gusting 44. Now, they were mostly headwind, but it was definitely a spicy approach. No wind shear, luckily, because we would have been min fuel after that. But it went quite well. So that was the longest flight I've ever done, and that was the last time I picked up open flying. I'm joking, I still do it. But yeah, that's a little story time for us. So I gotta hit my Mach button or else we're about to overspeed. So let's go with climb 310 or so. And once this gets a bit further away, we're gonna click our IAS Mach button right here. Boop. We want climb 77 right there. This airplane in the sim reacts quite aggressively to the pitch changes. It shouldn't do that much pitch, like that quick a pitch, but yeah, we'll have to fix that. I'm gonna go ahead and read the rest of the comments. You guys comment a lot, eh? I always like it, keeps me entertained. Thanks, Wayne. Thanks so much, and thanks for the donation tonight, guys. Thank you guys for all the donations, subscriptions. All you guys are killing it. We gained, I think, 9 subscribers this flight alone, so thank you so much. Hope you're enjoying the tutorial stream. This will be obviously uploaded for you guys later, so you guys can watch it and learn later if you want to. If you turn taxi lights on below 10, when do you turn landing lights on off? Landing lights off is when as soon as we take off, gear up, we get our speed mode, heading mode, or whatever mode, and then climb. After the flaps are in 0 and the climb thrust is set, we'll do the landing light. Boston Center is online, 34.7. I'm going to tune that in with the radio panel. I have the PU Air Korea radio panel is what I'm using. So I've tuned in 34.7, and we're going to give them a shout. If you guys are new to ATC, all we're going to tell them is the altitude we're climbing through, and it's going to give us a squawk code.
250, United 691.
United 691, maintain 290 knots a day.
290, greater, United 691.
Boston Center, very good day, turns that wind back up over 250.
Hopefully you guys can hear the VATSIM. There you go. Now you should be able to hear it. Boston Center Jazz 21428, climbing flight level 350.
214 Boston Center, Squawk 7011.
7011, Jazz 214.
Southwest Safety request, staff for the staff, please.
That shouldn't work that way, but whatever.
That's Southwest 850.
Affirm.
Winwing.
What's the reason you don't want to say airline you fly for? Just, you know, it's just a peace of mind thing.
And 37 Boston Center.
3 hours 55, the CRJ, that would be tough. A lot of time focusing on what seems like a small flight deck. It is a small. You can get up and stretch, obviously go to the bathroom, do whatever you want. But it is a long one. That one we had to flight in and divert all the way home. That was 3 hours and 40 after we got to the gate.
For 24 Bravo, how long? 3, you said?
The longest flight's Newark, Hong Kong, and then back to Newark. That's insane. About 18 hours. Yeah, you're nuts. They aren't a spokesman for the airline. Yeah, exactly. So they don't want to say anything that can be used.
Vision Jet
That's
516 Whiskey Mike.
The guy gets it. Wayne says, what is the correct procedure to increase flight level at a particular speed? Put in speed flight level then VS then.
IFR on file, but we couldn't get really
So if we get
I
it,
don't know if you have any
let me
time.
lower the V pilot.
20 miles east of Hartford, 13,500.
If we get a new flight level, I'll select the flight level first. I confirm it with the other person. And then we'll go into climb. We'll go into either speed mode to climb, or if it's descent, we usually use vertical speed. So for up, we usually use speed mode because you're speed protected, and for down, we usually use vertical speed. Now, if he says, hey, cross Akaru at like 36,000, same thing. First, I put it in here, confirm it, get the airplane going where it's supposed to go, and then I could put 360 at Akaru in the FMS. The FMS is always last for us. You want to fly the airplane first, make it do what you want to do. Now, if it's a waypoint that's coming up like way down the route, then you can put the altitude in here, confirm it, put it in there, and then you can see if you need to descend now or climb later, or whatever you need to do. But always get it set in the window first, and then confirm it with the other person. The 350 Jazz 214, thanks. Thank you guys so much for jumping on in. When I usually never get to my required speed. Yeah, you just gotta keep. To start, do climb 280, and then through 31,600 feet, the airplane will automatically switch you from climb 280 to climb 77. I manually clicked it because I did more of a fancier version of the climb, but stick to 280 knots, and then climbing through 31,600, it'll change to climb 77, and you keep this in, keep your thrust in climb, and you'll be good all the way. I haven't touched anything. I've just left it in climb and climb. That's it. 280.77 is normal climb, though. Should I disable that option in BIOS? Yeah, Club. What Club is talking about, guys, is... I'll turn V pilot a little bit lower for you guys again. What Club is talking about, guys, is I found a setting... Or no, I found... The CST Flight Deck actually found a setting, and Bobby, I think, as well, called... virtualization technology in the BIOS for CPU, for Intel CPUs, virtualization technology, and disabling that gave me so much more performance than I had before. So I'd recommend turning that off if you're an Intel processor, just to give it a try. It's called CPU virtualization. You can see passing through 31,600, half bank automatically applied as well. Madison, welcome. I bet those were some unhappy passengers. They were very unhappy, and also the day before that flight got canceled as well due to weather. So they got canceled twice in a row. They almost made it too. Virtual United Pilot says, that's when I was flying the 77 for United Virtual. That's crazy. Yeah, you're insane, my friend. The longest flight in sim was, I don't know where that even is, RKSI to SCLE, or EL. My longest flight IRL as dispatcher was IID to RJTT, no idea. And then RCTP to JFK. No worries, Wayne. Hope it works out. Oh, Wayne, by the way, for everybody here, I have a playlist on my channel for CRJ tutorials. It takes you fully through everything. So if you have questions on the CRJ, I basically have a full tutorial on it. Climbs, descents, FMS inputting data, how to do the ILS a properly approach, everything. Do you have the A28 Comanche? Yes, I love the A28 Comanche. I don't fly it that often. I don't fly GA that much. I know you guys don't like GA on the stream too much, but maybe I'll do it tomorrow. It is very good. I also have their twin. Jimmy, welcome. What would be some examples of differences between SOPs and some airlines? Does it refer to actual flying part, or is it something else? So I wouldn't know because I haven't worked at a different airline, but basically Bombardier and Boeing and Airbus, whenever they make an airplane, they have SOPs, and you have to use those SOPs, but you can add to them and sometimes slightly modify them in different orders. So that's the only thing. We're all doing roughly the same thing, but we might do things slightly out of order or say a different word or something like that. But the manufacturer will dictate what has to be done. So we all have to do the same things, just some maybe do it different orders and that kind of stuff. And you can add as much as you want to it, as long as it gets approved. Angela, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you're doing well. I can think off the top of my head that, for example, Ryanair taxis is on one engine after landing, but could you give me some practical examples? We do that too. We do single engine taxis as long as it's not in NTI's conditions. That's more of an airplane operating thing more than SOP. Just save fuel, really. But for example, let's see if I can think of something. I think someone told me they work for a another US carrier on the RJ, and for my carrier, we do on a RNAV approach. I forget what approach they're doing, but we do basically for our SOPs. We're always in the same needles. We're usually if we're in white needles, we're both in white needles. If we're in green needles, we're both in green needles. But their SOP is to do pilot flying in the mode for the approach and pilot monitoring in white needle or something like that. So they have different ways of doing things, but all sorts of different stuff. Even like, let's say I put a new altitude in here, instead of saying like, maybe they say, 35,000 confirm instead of confirm 35,000, or there's all different wording things you have to change, but most of the stuff is the same. It's just probably just labeled, it's just said a little bit differently. Yeah, virtual pilot, you have a lot more patience than I do. I'd never do those. Yeah, Dulles is, I know JFK and Dulles I know, but Seoul, Santiago, Chile, Tokyo. That's you guys are insane to do those long hauls. I can't be bothered. Flat Adam says, I've been through that playlist many times. It helps so much with the RJ. Thanks so much, Adam. Appreciate that. And you can see this airplane struggling to climb right now. This is what it does in real life, guys. So don't change anything. It's going to bob and weave. It does this all day, every day in the CRJ. Now, what you can do is you can select vertical speed 400, and instead of bobbing around, you kind of take the mean point of where it was, like the middle point. It was kind of bobbing between 3 and 900. So I'm kind of sticking around 4, but now you're not speed protected. So, you could do as you do. I'm going to leave it in climb 7.7. We're 34 for 35,000 feet, but this is what it does in real life. Once you start to get above 31, 32,000, the airplane does struggle to climb. It's a bit of a struggle bus at certain weights and stuff, of course. So just leave it alone. It'll do its thing. Why do you think I'm flying the Airbus now? I want to do multiple legs in a day. Yeah. Yeah, I find that more entertaining personally. Let me show you guys the PU Air Korea radio panel real quick. So this is the wing control autopilot panel here, which I'm using for the CRJ. But we also have the PU Air Korea radio panel. So I have 122 decimal 8, and that's ready for Unicom. I just press that button and it goes to the active frequency. $100, free shipping. Absolute steal for the PU Air Korea panel there. Okay, there's Alt's cap. We'll be cruising at 0.79. So I'll accelerate to 0.79, leave my thrust and climb until we get to 0.79, and then we'll bring the thrust on back. While we're up here, we'll do a fuel check. Got that flight plan back out here, and you can see our top of climb should have taken us 20 minutes. It took 27 minutes, a little longer. And at 35,000 feet, we're looking to be planned at 6,300, basically 6,400 pounds of gas. We're at 61, so we're 200 pounds or so under planned, but our minimum fuel is 54, so we're about 550 pounds or so above minimum fuel. So we're looking okay on that. And then the RVSM is checked. Everything's looking at 33,000. Man, you guys killed Fly with Adam's channel. He went from 164 or something like that to he's almost at 180. 32.2 Jazz 214. So 32.2, doing that with my PU Air Korea panel you guys just saw, flipping it over. Moncton Center, very good evening to you. Jazz 214, level 350. Awesome Blossom. When I do long hauls, I take off, climb to cruise, let the relief crew take over. Come back for descent. Yeah, that makes sense. Wayne says, same here. I learned to fly this aircraft with your videos. They are great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Glad you can make the live. Maddie, welcome. I already said welcome. You've been here for a while. I know I said welcome. You got cut off by ATC. When do you turn the landing lights? On landing lights is clear takeoff and cleared landing. So if we get clear for takeoff, landing light goes on. Then once we do our after takeoff checks, landing light goes off. Then we're on the descent, on approach, ILS, whatever. Clear to land, landing lights go back on. So lights on are always with the clearance, and lights off is with the after takeoff checks. For us, different companies might do different things. Fly with Lesso, welcome. How's the hiring market in your opinion? Right now it's a bit slow, but I know a lot of airlines are starting up again. Everything ebbs and flows. You need the vacuum to start, and what I mean by the vacuum is the major carriers. Once the majors start hiring, then they lose the regional pilots to them. The regionals have to hire, and then the instructors have to get hired from their schools. So everything's a big vacuum effect, but it starts with the majors. The majors are hiring, everything is hiring. It's kind of how it goes. But right now, I think it's starting to come back a little bit. Are you playing on a 32.9 monitor? It's I don't know how wide, but it's a 49-inch Samsung Odyssey G9. It's an absolutely gorgeous monitor that I bought with one of my first paychecks as a little thank you to myself. It is an ultra wide though. It's really intriguing to meet me that the U.S. carriers have so many different aircraft types from Greece, which means I'm limited to 320 family or ATR. Yeah, there are a lot of European companies. They have like one airplane, and that's about it. But in North America, they have quite a few. One airline. By relief crew, I mean I log off at them, go to bed, go to work, and then just let the flight itself auto step climbs. Yeah, you can. Yeah, exactly. I don't like leaving my PC on for that long. I wouldn't like doing that personally. By the way, guys, we've kind of brought our thrust back. I kind of didn't say I was doing it, but I brought my thrust back to hold 7.9 here. A little trick is you can start and put your thrust to about 1,800 pounds per hour, roughly. Kind of just set it kind of around there, and observe the speed trend. Right now we're slowly increasing our speed. It just went away, so I'm actually not going to touch anything. Maybe a little bit less, like the ever so slightly less. You can see we're at 1825. I just brought it back by 10 pounds per hour per side or so. It's a very slight movement, and we're locked in. You won't really have to touch it anymore. Very, very small movements on that throttle is all you really need. Oh yeah, I just got the PAP3 because of your last video. Hey, thanks so much, Wayne. Yeah, it's awesome. I love this thing. It makes managing the plane much easier, so much like... yeah, it's a lot less work with the mouse, and it's so much more... it's so much better to control the airplane with it. Hey, C5, I passed my multi-I4 flight test a couple weeks ago. Thanks for the tips. Now I got to get my job. Hey, well, congratulations. Everyone's going to say congratulations to... I was about to say Mateo, but I don't think that's correct. But we'll say Socha. Congratulations on that. It's a big milestone for to get that IFR. It was a multi-IFR. You said multi-IFR, yeah, so congrats on that. Jimmy says, whenever I fly to try to pick at least common aircraft type I can, I was lucky enough to fly on an Air Serbia and Air Bulgaria E190. I actually really loved, would fly again any day of the week. I've never been on a 190 yet. I've been on a 175. I've never been on a 190. I want to try a 190 E2. Those look really nice too. Wayne says, do you have the long to radio panel you just mentioned? Oh, a link? I have a link to it. I have no referral code or anything, but the link should be in the description. PU Air Korea's website should be in the description. Their discount code is now, unfortunately, expired for them. But they might have a discount going on. It's a really good price. They're also putting out a discount on their brand new 737 overhead panel. So go check out PU Air Korea's website. They got a brand new 737 overhead panel coming out, like a minimized version for desktop users. If you want to see absolutely smoke this landing, oh, yeah, put it in the landing, or put it in the Discord under the landings. We'll check a look in a second. This guy's they have a fantastic voice. I'm gonna say something. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say best pilot voice ever, but the guy called him, so. Those IR flights are real. Most of the economy. I've done Tokyo Dulles Premium and JFK to Ichon. I can't pronounce that in business. That's cool. I've never been in business class on a long haul. That's probably pretty nice to do. 1 or 2 flights to Beijing. One flight back from Beijing to JFK. We're in the middle of 747. That's really cool. That's a milestone too, or a bucket list item. 747 flight. Going to Japan in the spring, so those are a pair of quite long haul flights. Yeah, Japan's a really cool one. I want to go to Japan. Hopefully next year. We're going to plan for that. Favorite approach to airport that I've done in real life, a really cool approach. Obviously the DCA river visual is really cool in the 19, but the RNAV X runway 31 via the Greg intersection into LaGuardia is a really cool approach to see all of New York. That's a really cool one too. And I knew this Canadian women's ice hockey team but beat Switzerland 2-1 to advance to the gold medal. Hey, that's good. Or bad, depending on what you think. Yeah, Adam, did you see the Boeing overhead? Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? What do you think about the Air Canada 350 order? I don't know much about it. I mean, it's cool that we're getting more 350s in North America. We'll see if it happens, see if they ever get an order, because it's pretty backlogged, I know. Let's go ahead and start setting up for this approach, guys, because this is going to start getting a little quick, and there's not much of an ATIS there. They only have really a METAR, so... Oh, I thought it was lower, actually, but it's actually not that bad. It's a variable 2 knots of wind, 15-mile visibility, overcast 2,400 feet with -3, and altimeter setting of 3023. There we go. Let's go ahead and start setting our brightnesses a little lower. Always want to set your brightnesses nice and low for the nighttime. Alrighty, so with variable at 2 knots, we're coming in from the west flying east. So I'll probably take runway, let's see, probably take runway 03 because as an ILS, we'll take that via Ukobo. When ready, 290, Jazz 214, and just for planning purposes, we're planning ILS 3 via Ukobo into Charlottetown today. Direct to Kobo, Jazz 214. I was not expecting that, but we'll go ahead and plug that in. So what I'm going to do, guys, I want to get rid of all this. So instead of deleting each waypoint, I'm going to spell out Ukobo. Bo. We're going to put it at the very back. Okay, we're going to execute it. Then we're going to take Ukobo from the back, legs page, put it to the top, and delete all... Oh, it doesn't work. It should delete all that. It doesn't do it, though. It should delete everything. I mean, it looked like it worked. Yeah, there we go. It worked, but didn't work. Now it's in roll mode. Alright, so let's try that again. Yeah, there's another thing that doesn't work like in the real life. But you should be able to delete your whole flight plan by doing that, but keep the direct. Alright. It's in the alternate section where... I don't know why we're in the alternate section now, but we shouldn't be. Okay, that just broke it, eh? Yeah, so that should have worked. Now Yokobo's behind us. Alright, this is what we're going to do. Departure arrival, ILS 3, Yokobo, execute, legs. That doesn't even have it here. Yeah, there's something going messed up with that. So, what we're going to do is we're going to put Montreal, actually we'll put Charlottetown over Montreal. Charlottetown to the destination. That should have cleared everything, which it just did. Departure arrival, ILS 3. Nope. Let's go legs, cancel. Departure arrival, ILS 3, Yokobo, legs page. Yokobo over Yokobo, execute. Direct. This is a bug. It should say DIR. I'll just put something in there, whatever. Or UL, whatever. Direct. There we go. Roll mode. FMS2 is captured. Down to 290 when ready is what we were assigned. That is very, very buggy. It should not have done all that. But anyways... Yokobo wants us at 2,000 feet, roughly. Let's see, actually, the VDA cross is 35. So we'll plan Yokobo at 4,500. We'll go ahead and execute that. Let's get rid of our range fix now. We don't need that anymore. And direct intercept Yokobo at 4,500 feet. Wants 1,600 feet per minute. We're going to start descending when this says 2,700 feet per minute. So we're going to keep it on. We're going to keep on trucking along. But let's get the rest of this figured out. So... weather weights plates. We got the weather. We'll get the landing weight. So performance. Oh, it ditched all that too. 350, 160, 66, something in there. Fuel is calculated. All right, so that's also a bug that it doesn't continue calculating, but whatever. 66,000 pounds. Was our zero fuel weight. We're going to add our estimated landing fuel on top of this. So estimated landing fuel is 1,500 pounds. That's not correct. Let's go back here. Bring our OFP up. Our estimated landing fuel is 35, we'll call it. So basically what we're going to do is 66640 plus 3,500 pounds. That puts you to a landing weight of 70,000 pounds estimated. So we're going to go ahead and go to the iPad, make sure the airplane's still doing okay, which it is. Call it 70,000 pounds, ILS runway 3. It is dry. We'll calculate that. We're using 3,100 feet. And we're going to have a remaining basically 5,000 or 4,000 feet remaining, so a lot of runway to use there. On the 70-pound card landing, our landing speed will be 135. And in the hold, 205. Actually, there is no hold, so I'll get rid of that. We'll just execute that. Our minimums, MDA on the ILS runway 3, is 360. Now, because it's below because it's below zero, we'll have to do the temperature correction. It's 20 feet for us today, so 360 actually becomes 380 on the MDA. The reason we have to temperature correct is it's really cold and the barometric altimeter gets affected by temperature, so we'd rather be higher than lower, not to have the altimeter error. 380 is set, you'd have it in both right and side, left side. We're going to set terrain mode on. But yeah, this MDA would be set on both sides, but I'm not going to scroll it. We would also set up our HCP, but I'm not going to do it because it doesn't model. It's not modeled well really in the sim. Plus, I'm not using the HUD, so it doesn't really matter on the right-hand seat. And then next is our loc frequencies. The NG will automatically tune the loc frequencies, but I'm just going to type them in. I don't think this is modeled after an NG. I don't really know. But the frequency is 110.9. You can either enter it like this, or you can type in the identifier, which is IYG. That's the identifier of the loc, and it got it wrong. So, yeah, it doesn't. In real life, it's actually very, very good, but we'll just manually type it in there. So now we're all looking good. Navigraph is finally working, so I'll bring that chart up for you. This is the ILS runway 3. I'll give you guys a brief. We're about to start descending for the ILS runway 3 into Charlottetown. It's page 11-1, effective the 2nd of October. It's to be a loc frequency of 110.9, been set left and right. Final approach course are 2027. Glide path check tilt Q will be 14. Be both actually 1500 basic temperature corrected. So I'll go and fix that actually. After the temperature correction, 1500. Minimum of 380 temp comp set right. And MSA is based off the YYG DME, which is kind of weird. It's 2100 feet temp comp to 23. Missed approach is climb 3000 feet. Runway heading, expect vectors. The procedure will be the toggle button, toggle thrust, flap 8 gear, up speed mode, heading mode. We'll go from there. 3-degree slope on the ILS here. Happy's on the left, SSALR type lighting. And we're good down to about 1200 RVR on this approach. We'll be more than fine with that lighting, but it shouldn't get that bad anyways. On 03, you're going to plan to exit. Actually, we're going to have to do a backtrack. We're going to stop around probably here, backtrack, and then exit right on Charlie and make our way. Fuel-wise, we should have about 30,000 pounds, which is, yeah, so basically on fuel-wise, if we go miss, we're going right to the alternate, which is Halifax. So why don't we go ahead and load the Halifax alternate route, just in case. So we're going to press flight plan, next page, oh, no, sorry, legs. Oh, that should work. Yeah, that should have worked. They should have an alternate flight plan, but anyways, we'll do legs alternate, which I'm not going to touch this actually because that got all messy, so I'm not even going to touch this page. But basically, this is a page where it says alternate. Is I can once we go to the alternate, my route will be here. But we're gonna leave it alone because it's already buggy as it is. We're not gonna touch that. I've been missing a lot of comments. I'm sorry about that, guys. I'll quickly go check. What do you think about the? Oh, I read that one. Air Canada 350 order is only for 8 aircraft. Oh, that's not that much, eh? Air Canada statement says 350 will start receiving 2030. Yeah, I hope so. Okay, Yoko wants 2,500, so we're still looking okay. Mission failed successfully. That's it. I fixed my CRJ issue. Apparently it was Wasm issue with the controller issue. Oh, that's weird. My mixture was bound to knob and my controller. Yep, that'll do it. Check to see if you have travel benefits on Al Nippon Airways. If not, Air Canada has flights to Japan from several cities in Canada. That's kind of cool. I've never flown on Al Nippon. Your landing weight, it says 7,000 pounds. Did I change that over there? Oh, it does. Thank you so much for that. I bet it's going to be roughly the same amount of length. Ready? It says 3,000. 31. An extra 100 feet. I don't think it works all that well, to be honest with you. You mentioned in the last stream that there was a fix to get Pearson add-ons. Yes, Dominic, if you're in the stream, I think you are because you're flying. Dominic is flying behind us, another CRJ. If he's in here, he can send you the file to fix. He can have you fix it there for him. I lost my words. Dominic can send you the file, maybe on Discord, how to fix your Pearson. Let's go ahead and start down. 29,000 feet. Vertical speed 3,000 feet per minute is our normal descent profile. Idle thrust. And we're on the way down. really wish these integral lighting had like 1 notch less. It shouldn't be that bright on the first setting. Same with the flood. I know you guys love the CRJ streams. I really appreciate all you guys being here. .4% of you said you can't like the stream. I don't understand, but I'll take it. $3023 down to 10,000. Jazz 214. Thanks. 10,000 is confirmed. So all I did, guys, was I planned Oakbo at 4,500 because over Villari it was about 38 was the VDA. So Oakbo wants 2,800 feet per minute. I did 3, and as we get lower and lower, this number is going to start counting itself down a little bit. But I have a whole descent video on how I kind of programmed my little and planned my descent in my brain. I have a whole video on that. I've got to keep grinding with this video. Best of luck with your landing, mate. I'll catch you later. But hey, thank you so much, Simblitz, for stopping by and all the continued support. Guys, go check out Simblitz's channel as well. Awesome creator on YouTube here. Be sure to go check out his channel. Really good guy. Dom says I'll post it in the Discord once I land. Cool, yeah. So, Socha, if you're not part of my Discord, go join my Discord, and Dom's gonna post it in there for you once he lands. How do you deal with the descents when you have to descend via SID that doesn't, I assume you descend via the star, that doesn't allow for 3,000 feet per minute? They usually all descend. They usually all allow for it. Is all how you plan it. Now, if it doesn't, you can always just do less, and you'll have to use thrust. Like right now, I'm idle thrust, and I'm maintaining my speed quite well. But if you do less than 3,000, you can just add. You can keep thrust in the descent, and that's okay too. But most times you don't. You can plan your arrival, almost all of them, to have 3,000 feet per minute usually. And again, I do have a whole video on it as well. Awesome, thanks. Where can I find the link to Discord? Should be in the description, Socha. Clip Functions or Fusion says, "Are you actually a CRJ pilot?" Yes, I am. Yep. I have a few videos on my channel of day in the life videos on the CRJ, and a couple shorts in the real airplane as well. So, yep, the CRJ 900, 900NG variant. Yes, yeah, the CRJ9. Just finished actually a flight today from Philadelphia. We did we had an NG, so we had the fancy VNAV and all that kind of stuff too. Clip, I won't say the airline, but it's in North America. And basically, guys, what I'm looking for is once we're around 12,000 feet, this number's most likely going to be around the 12 to 1,300 feet per minute range. So I'm basically planning for 12 at 12, which basically means at 12,000 feet, I'm going to select 12,000 feet per minute, maintain idle thrust, and bring our speed all the way down to 250 knots. Now you can see some clouds coming up ahead, and it is going to be below below 10 degrees down there. So we're going to need our anti-icing on, our wings and cowls. Now having the wing and cowl anti-ice on, it's going to increase the N2 percentage because it has to keep enough air in the system. And by doing that, by increasing the N2 to keep enough air, it also descend 4,000 include the ILS-03 at global transition, Jazz 214. 4,000 is confirmed. So in doing that, by increasing the N2 to keep the anti-ice running, the airplane does it automatically, but by doing that, it's also going to increase your thrust, so it's even harder to slow down. So we'll keep that in mind. Adam says, I'm off to bed, guys. If you're not subbed to Mr. SimCFI, please do. This guy has been helping me from the beginning. Such a genuine, nice dude. Thank you so much, Adam, and hopefully you catch the landing maybe after you wake up tomorrow. I'm off for 3 days as well, guys, so I'll probably be streaming a little bit more in the next coming few days here. Thank you, Adam. Have a good night. Maddie says, since you need a DME from a VOR and the ILS, do you use DME hold features? Yep, yeah, you could definitely do that. I don't really need it, though, because if I go, let me go back to the chart here. Is it associated with something else? Oh, it is, eh? Yeah, you could do it there. You should actually do it there. So what we would do is you get YYG, which is 13.8. Let's see if it... I don't know if it's actually going to work, but You can always try. 13.8. You're gonna put that in the active side. DME hold. It holds it. Bring the ILS frequency back. And now we're basically... And now we're holding the YYG VOR, sorry, the DME in there. So we'll have DME data from this DME VOR, but we'll have the ILS tuned up as well. Transition 3023. We're gonna set our speeds as well. Haven't done that, but you can just press set all. It'll do all the speeds. That speed is wrong. Oh, that speed. These are pretty correct. That speed's wrong, but that's fine. Coming on down in the descent, you guys can see we need 1,700 feet per minute, so that's looking good. This is broken currently. Now we're approximately 10 minutes away. They'd actually, in real life, transfer you to the radio controller down there in Charlottetown, but I think he's going to control us all the way down. Good catch as well, Maddie, by the way. Clip says, man, you're so lucky you've been commercial pilot. That's my dream. Hey, man, we'll stick to it. Get your hours in and then go for it. It's definitely possible. Definitely possible. Boeing Aviation, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, Adam. Hopefully we can get on the CRJ tomorrow as well, if you're not too busy. Alright, Yokbo wants 1,400, so this is going to work out quite nicely. We're going to do 12 at 12. 1,200 feet a minute, 12,000 feet. Probably started actually a little early because we will have the wing anti-ice on. So let's do 1,200 feet per minute now. Now this airport is definitely going to have a black hole effect, which means it's going to be pitch black everywhere. We're going to select 250 knots for the time being, but then we're going to go down to 210 via Elopo there. And we've been radar vector down to 4,000. Over to the Charlottetown radio, and then we'll report down and clear with you, Jazz 214. Thanks. All right, 18-0. Shooting 18-0 in with the PUR career radio panel. Charlottetown traffic is Jazz 214, 12,000 feet, 50 miles to the west, landing ILS-3 via Yokbo, estimated 9 minutes to the field. We'll call base and final. Charlottetown radio. Technically it's traffic, but whatever. Alright, nicely decelerating for 250 to 10,000. That's looking all good as well. I'm currently training on the Cessna 172, so yeah, I gotta get my hours in. Yeah, Clips, hey, that's where it starts, man. We all start 172. I actually instructed on that as well. So that's kind of where it starts for everybody. But you'll enjoy it. As long as you're enjoying it, then that's what counts. So right now we're direct Yokbo. And we're probably going to go green needle navigation around here to intercept the localizer. We can't intercept an ILS in white needle navigation. We need to be in green needle navigation, so we'll do that. Coming up on 10,000 feet, and it is nighttime. Let's go ahead and grab all of our logo, wing inspection, and our taxi recog. These will come on when we're on final there. The landing lights will come on final. Double ding through 10. Landing weight set for 70,000 pounds. That will be a... it might be a little heavier actually than expected, so 136. That is good on that. Is it CTAF 23.5 for YGW? I'm going to YYG. We're going to YYG, so it should be Charlottetown radio of 18.0 in real life. I don't know if they changed it on VATSIM. Let me quickly see on VATSIM. Yeah, see, that's wrong. It should be 18.0, which would be Charlottetown radio. They're wanting you to contact London radio, which doesn't make sense, but we could do that. Radio 2355. Charlottetown traffic, Chas 214 and approximately 35 miles to the west of the field, 8,000 and 4,000, ILS 03 via EXPO. Will report base final down and clear, 7 minutes to the field. That loc will be tuned, shouldn't pop up because I've already tuned it, but whatever. Managing speed for 250. Wings and cowls coming on, the anti-ice system. You see how dark it's getting? This is how it is. This is how dark it is out here, I'm sure. Middle of nowhere. Alright, now it wants 800 feet per minute for 45, so we can go ahead and go about 800 or so on that. A little bit of added thrust. I turn the cameras on for you guys, although my room is quite dark. This whole time I forgot to give you guys the overlay. I'm sorry about that. Flight recorder is started and ready to go. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying it. There's our blue neatos popped up for the localizer, our preview ILS. Alright, decelerating 210. I'll put a poll in the chat if you guys want day or night. I know a lot of you guys do like the real world time, but whatever you guys want. Decelerating for 210. Scotia says, do you know why Jefferson charts do not have the safe alt 100 knock mile? Is that something you don't use in the airlines? It does. It does. I can stream it real quick for you. It depends what country you're in. Not all countries have it. So let me show you. Let me do it here. Right here. 3,000 feet, 100 mile safe. Right there. There's 4,000. But we're inside 100 miles and we've been cleared down to 4 anyways, so. But it is there for you. You guys want real world time? There's real time. Adding thrust for 210. Or not. It all changed. Shutdown traffic, it's Jazz 214 on left base, ILS 3, EXPO transition. Alt cap. Let's keep it coming down. Vertical speed, 700 feet. And down to 2,000 set and confirmed for Valerie. So we'll do 1,000. We'll flap 1. Let it slow to 190. I'm gonna let the airplane get on course, and then we're gonna switch to green needle. Wings and cowl anti-ice are on. Flap 8. Slow in 180. It should smart turn this. It should turn a little earlier. I hope. It should start turning, honestly, like now. There we go. Starting to turn. 3 for 2,000 feet. Not below 2,000 at Valerie. We're met that restriction. Charlottetown traffic, Jazz 214 turning 10 mile final, ILS 3, Charlottetown. And we got visual conditions. We got the runway in sight over there. We're gonna go do heading mode, green needle, approach mode, Loc 2 captured, and the course is wrong as usual. Alt cap 2000, adding thrust for that. Course of 027. Here we go, and there's the bug. Up at disengage, bring you back. So the airplane in real life actually isn't that great at capturing Locs, but it's not that bad. it really isn't the best, like the best in real life at all. I'm not lying to you guys. It isn't that great, and we do have a lot of problems with it, but it's not that bad inside 10. Unarmed approach, rearm Loc 2. There we go. Autopilot's re-engaged. Loc 2 captured. Alt's cap for 2,000 feet. Glide slope alive. Runway's in sight. We're below the clouds, so we can go throw the landing lights on now as well. We'll start our flight recorder. And because we're visual, we'll do visual calls. So 500 feet, wings and cowls can come off, but 500 feet is when we need to be stabilized. So that's all good. Waiting on the glide slope capture, and we're going to set 3,000 feet from the missed approach. It's just coming in here. The glide slope is armed. It's going to capture that and start descending on in. And we got the DME there, so that is actually working. That's kind of cool. Glide slope capture. We'll get the gear down. The ice apparently will go wings and cowls on. Although I went away. I don't really believe that, but gear down. Get the chime, get the reverses armed as well. Lights are all on. Flight spoilers are 0. Flap 20. 160. This thing slows down so easily. Flap 30. 156. And flap 45, ref 135. Flap 45 set, gears down, reverses are armed, wings and cowls are on. Shouldn't really need that. We'll turn them off again. Runways in sight, visual landing, visual calls. Ice light. Alright, we'll just leave it on. Wings and cowls on. Even though there should not be ice here, but whatever. We're not in visible moisture, so there should be ice when there's no moisture, but whatever. The replay is replaying. Now in real life it's not this bright. Charlottetown. That's very bright right now, but it's not this bright. It's very, very dark there. But we're going to go ahead and disengage the autopilot. Let's zoom on in a little bit. There we go. We're going to start our flare at 20 feet, 500 stable.
400.
Notice there's no centerline lighting, so it's very easy to get high or low on this approach. Do you have a glide slope to help out?
Minimums.
Landing.
200.
Very, very small wind. Everything's going according to plan.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
A lot harder than I thought. That's okay. Reverses they don't work because they're not working right now, but we're just going to go ahead and get it down and stopped. My reverses don't work, unfortunately, because I still have not mapped them. I thought I did, but I guess I didn't. Charlottetown radio says 214 on the rollout, runway 03, and we're going to be backtracking to exit Charlottetown. The brakes are going to take the brunt of that stop. We're going to come over here and do a U-turn. Okay, apparently we're not going to do that. Man, I really need a tiller. Alright, we'll go all the way this way. I'm about to, I'm really close to just slewing. But I'm not going to do that. A little bit of left engine. How do you calibrate your throttle in the CRJ? I'm unable to... why does it turn? This is a bug too. The airplane is very, very good in real life to just turn on a dime. But it shouldn't use all this runway. It's going to be in the settings of the EFB. Settings, options, next page. And it'll be calibrate throttle. We're going to get off this runway. Is there any reason why you prefer visual approach over... It's not about preferring, it's just we are visual, so there's no point to go through visual or instrument calls and instrument restrictions, like being stable by 1,000 and all that stuff. When you're visual, you can be stable a little lower. Visual is actually usually harder, because if you're actually using your visual cues, it's harder than just following needles. But if it's visual, and we just have it backed up by the ILS, that's all. But if it's full IFR, then we just used ILS. Kind of just how it goes. We don't really care about we do about 3 to 4 flights a day, so your skills are going to get sharp regardless of what you do. At the point where you're at an airline is you're just doing what makes sense, really, if that makes sense. Start decelerating here. We're going to exit. And we're going to port down and clear with Moncton Center. Moncton Center, Chess 214 at Charlottetown, down and clear, 03. All runways are clear. You too. Alright, we're going to come clear. We'll do our after landings. We got our flaps up. Our land lights can be selected off. I'll leave my nose light on because it's really, really dark. And wind inspection and strobes can be turned off. Does not look familiar to Charlottetown, but I guess we'll go in here to gate 1. I'm like speeding through this. Taxi light can come off, land light can come off as well. Oh, I guess we have no crew. Probably picked the wrong one. We'll stop our replay there. Start up our APU. Yeah, there's no way ice is still on. We're just gonna We're gonna bypass that warning. There's just no ice, bro. The sim, man. Hey, that sounds Boris sound pack. It is, yeah, it is Boris sound pack. Good flying. Oh, I read that one too. A lot of movement with the throttle to keep it on course after autopilot disconnect, but the plane didn't move much left, right, up, or down. I noticed a lot of movement with the throttle. No, I shouldn't need. You don't need too much power, too much throttle movement. You'll need a lot of control movement, and that's the way I've set it up. Is it should be pretty movement, but not much happens. That's what happens in real life. Is a lot of it's, you know, it's not like a Cessna. Like, this won't make the airplane do anything. You really have to, you know, make it do something, if that makes sense. Went with the yoke? Yeah, no worries. Look at the ice. Oh my gosh, yeah, this sim is funny, man. That would not happen with this weather. I haven't even had that happen in icing conditions. I've had it ice up on the windshield for sure, because it's a non-lifting surface, and that's what's going to build ice first. But, like, no. I mean, there's no ice. But anyways, APU's on. All the anti-ice is off. We'll go ahead and turn the dome light on so you guys can see here. Thrust can be cut off. Belts can be turned off. Awesome sounds. Fuel pump off. Should have did the fuel check valve again, but that's okay. Hydraulic 3A pump off. Beacon light can be turned off as well. Steering off. Transponder to standby. Parking brake is on, and we are good to go. I think we still have a few people coming to land over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just quickly slew myself. I know you guys don't like this, but I'm gonna do this. Put myself somewhere kind of over. Oh, not this way. Myself somewhere over here. Just so I can, if I mess up my view, I can come back to the runway quickly. And we're gonna watch our buddies come in. I don't know where they are.
And shot sounds video, jet 691, approximately 10 miles from the approach for runway 03. Shot it down.
Okay, he's at 10 miles. I'm gonna disconnect from VATSIM. We'll do a couple of replays and then we'll come back and watch. 10 miles is about 3 minutes or so. I'll make it daytime so you guys can see. Put flap 45 and all that kind of stuff. Nothing fancy. Just get it on the center line, get it in the touchdown zone, get it stopped. The runway is quite short. I'm gonna go ahead actually and also do aircraft that on ready for taxi. Yeah, I assume, Maddie. That's how it is in real life. I guess I should turn the chocks off, eh? Let's go ahead and do that. There we go. We'll do one more of these, and then we will go ahead and watch Dom's landing. Okay, well, I got rid of the chocks, but apparently not. Probably should have pitched a little bit more, but that's okay. It's kind of hard to tell at nighttime, so just get her stopped, get her down. Oops. Please, recorder. Thank you. Stop. Oh my god. Remove the chocks. Alright, let's go connect the VATSIM and see if we can get a landing going on here. Now keep in mind, Dominic's going to be landing in the time we were landing at, pitch black. There's Dom right there. He's just coming on in. So yeah, not a lot of room to play with this runway. You can flare a little bit, but at nighttime, you just want to get her down. You'll notice if you ever guys fly the CRJ in real life, if you ever get the chance to do that. Whoops, I messed up my view. If you ever get a chance to do that, you'll notice that the landings will get more difficult with no wind. Without wind, even any airplane you fly, without that little bit of wind, a light wind will be more challenging for you. Usually people don't like the wind, but I like wind. What is the best configuration for weight and balance? Because I always have a heavy tail with the weight and Simbrief gives me. Usually it is going to be aft CFG for most airliners. The reason is, if you have a weight pulling down at the tail, that means you have to pitch down to keep it level, which is a less angle of attack, which is less drag. So airliners like to have aft CFGs usually. -2. Now keep in mind as well, the VATSIM is not really a great representation of what the airplane landed like, but it almost looks like a CRJ 200. Nice. We'll continue these replays because unfortunately I do have to get going quite quickly. Nope, and it's even darker, real world. I'm gonna go and disconnect there. I do have to get these replays on the road on the way because I do have to get going here, unfortunately. But we will get the show on the road for you guys. We've redisconnected from VATSIM. Might do another landing or two. It's always fun for me at the end of the stream to kind of do some more landings in the sim because the sim does land different. So it's always nice to do a few in there. Definitely a hard hit. Take it from here. I have control. Replay is off.
Sink.
It spawned me a little slow.
Don't sink.
We'll get her back. What I do is, well, I guess I can't do that anymore, but we're just gonna fly it in from like this.
Don't sink.
And we're trying another approach. Can't see anything, but with that set, stop recording, replay. Started around here.
Don't sink. 400.
And my control. There we go. It's always fun to do a few of these. And I also find when I do these landings, I can kind of tune my yoke a bit more. And I can also, for the next update, if there is ever one that comes out for this, and I can also see what the flight model is missing from the real one.
200. Sink rate 100. Sink rate
40, 30, 20, 10.
So I did notice something with my
terrain,
yoke.
terrain.
Make a quick change with the Moza software. Alright, we'll save that. We'll try again. And then I'll show you guys this landing after. This is with the updated settings I just put in here.
Don't sink.
I think I have to
Don't
stiffen the
sink.
aileron up a little bit, but other than that, we're pretty good to go.
Don't sink. 200. Don't sink. 100.
50,
Don't
40,
sink.
30, 20, 10.
Alright, I'm going to stop the replay there. I'm going to pause this for a second. Quickly going to stiffen up the aileron. Roll, and we should be good preset for next time. We'll do a replay of that one. Again, guys, it's always really fun to do those types of approaches. Just put yourself on final.
200.
Do a few approaches.
Don't sink.
Fun to practice in the sim. It doesn't relate to real world. It doesn't here and there in some parts, but the flying part doesn't. Like, it doesn't feel the same at all. But
100. Don't
like the kind of like when you should start flaring and that kind of stuff, you can practice and all that. This airplane, I've noticed in the sim, there's a layer of ground effect that it hits. And some other airplanes have this problem too, and I noticed a lot of companies are fixing that finally, but it does encounter like a layer of ground effect. It's just like a wall of air that it hits. Yeah, Dom, thanks for jumping in. No, this is not the native one. This is Flight Recorder. It's completely free. It's called Flight Recorder. Really highly recommend. It's completely free. Also, do you have the settings for your alpha calibration? Is the way smoother? I don't use the alpha. I use the Moza AY210 force feedback yoke. Power, thank you so much. This is our second attempt at it. Or third, actually. I really probably should get that reverse map, shouldn't I? We'll give you some nighttime landings. Although there's not much to see. Love the hydraulic noise. Nice. Alright guys, well, with that, we are going to end the stream there. I really appreciate all you guys jumping on in. I'm going to make some more yoke movement adjustments and all that kind of stuff to this airplane, so we'll get it flying closer to real life. And once I find those settings, I've never been able to dial it down, but once I find them, I will send them and show you what I've done. But for now, guys, I really appreciate you guys stopping in. All the subscriptions we got, the likes we've got. Thank you so much. We will be probably in the CRJ tomorrow again, and we'll do another flight. So thank you guys so much, and we shall see you hopefully tomorrow. Bye bye for now, and happy flights.